Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Truuu Talk podcast. This is episode 26. That's right, 26 weeks of us. 26 episodes of the Truuu Talk podcast. Can you believe it? Now, as always, we are joined by the Truuu Talk First Lady, Miss Chitty. Miss Chitty, Chitty, bang, bang.
Hey.
Chitty, for a second there, I thought you were going to do it, I was going to start effing and blinding.
I did
A man who needs introduction, Mr. Truuu Talk himself, Mr. Ashley. Show. Our very own banter, bring our looking lovely in red, Miss Milan.
Hey.
Miss Millie Rock. Also, we got loudmouth Dom over there as well.
Hi.
Hi.
She's even louder in the introduction, isn't it? My God. And of course, myself, DJ Sticky Fingers.
The one and only.
The one and only. Now, as always, got two topics this week, and we've got a very serious one this week as well. This first topic is, what age do you think it is okay to leave children at home alone, and for how long? And also, is it important for your partner to make you feel attractive? Now, as I said, with the first topic, what age do you think it's okay to leave your children at home alone, and for how long? So a little bit of context on it. Some of you may have seen there's a story that came out recently of a young lady who's on her 18th birthday left a one-year-old baby alone for 6 days, who unfortunately died from neglect. And we thought, maybe that's a topic to discuss. Now, a bit of context to that as well. It did transpire in the paper. They said the baby was left alone in a flat, but actually what it turns out was that the baby was left in a mother and baby unit. So the mum and the baby live in a part of a mother and baby unit. They said the mum left out on her 18th birthday and came back 6 days later, and then that's when the baby often died on the way to hospital or at hospital. So we thought something to touch upon there. So again, this topic is not based solely on that, but just a bit of context on it. And to kick us off with that one is our very own loud mouth Dom. Dom, over to you.
Hi guys. So that's a deep one, in all honesty. I mean, no mum, no matter what age they are, in their right mind, should leave their child in the house on their own. There's just so many dangerous events, just so many implications that could just happen. Do you know what I mean? Because it might not even be the child per se. What happens if somebody breaks into the house, kidnaps the child? Do you know what I mean? What happens if somebody breaks into the house, abuses the child? What happens if they put the oven on, they leave the gas on? I just think is one of the most dangerous things that you can do. There's just nothing at all. I mean, it's bad enough, for example, having to leave your child in the car when you go to the petrol station because you've got to run and pay. Do you know what I mean? Nobody drags their child out of the car to go and pay for their petrol. Do you know what I mean? They just lock them in the car, pay for the petrol and come back. And you get mum guilt from that and dad guilt, parent guilt, whatever. You get that from that. But I mean, in terms of age of what age they should leave their child at home in the property, I mean, personally, I would say a teenager, but then there's always the teenage stage, the partying and them coming in with their friends and wrecking your house and whatever. But I say it depends on the child. Like a 13-year-old, I'd say if they're coming home from school and you're an hour late from work, no problem, as long as they're not putting the gas in or whatever and you're on your way. In terms of leaving them overnight, I don't think they should be left overnight until they're at least 16. And even then, it's trial and error because they may not even be mature enough at 16 to deal with that, So if you've given a chance at 16, left them overnight and they've been irresponsible, then well, it's tough. You try again when you're 18 and so on and so forth. But I just think it's down to the parents, and is the parents' responsibility to know and assess when their child is ready to be left in the house on their own. But even then, I think they should be of age. Once they get to high school, say year 9 upwards, You know, if you're running late an hour, or they're a latchkey kid, which a lot of children are, you know, when you've got mobile phones, you can ring them, whatever, that's fair enough. But even then, if you've got an immature 13-year-old, you know, like, I'd leave my son to come home, open the door, whatever, on his own for an hour till I come home from work. Would I leave my daughter at 13? Absolutely not, because I know she's irresponsible. Do you know what I mean? Probably have no house to come home to. Do you know what I mean? So it just depends. But the baby thing, definitely not. I mean, there's just so many health things and so many things that can go wrong with the baby anyway when you're there, like, you know, like cot death and things like that. And, you know, if they choke, and there's always this argument on how you should lie a baby, etc., etc. So when you're not there and knowing a baby can't feed itself, why on earth would you leave it on his own?
There's definitely a lot in there. On that as well, I just want to make sure I read some of the messages. 33 God says, yeah, deeper than what was circulated, talking about the story. So they're saying there's more to the story than what was actually mentioned. And Brianna, 80s baby, says, agreed with what Loudmouth Dom is saying. So to sum that up, Dom's saying potentially 16 if they're mature, and if not, maybe 18. Miss Millie Rock Milan, what's your views on this one?
Hey there. With the background story, with the basis of the story, you know, obviously my condolences go out to the family and that, but that should never have happened. At one, or I'm not actually quite sure how old the baby was, but I know it was a baby, should never, ever, 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 ever have been left alone. Do you know what I mean? It goes without like saying. Doesn't matter if she was popping to the shops, if she was going to, I don't know, like knock next door to ask for a bag of sugar. Do you know what I mean? At that age, that's just a write-off. No. But then to like a general consensus, I guess, I was going to Google it, but I didn't have time to, I was busy. Because I wanted to know if there was or if anybody knows, is there an actual legal age? I was just curious to know what it like was and if there is one. But I would say, I think kids can come home from school in year 5. So I don't know how old that makes them. Like 9?
About 10, I think. Yeah, 9 or 10.
11.
No, year 5. No, year 5 is like 9 or 10.
Oh,
Yeah.
11 is the legal age.
Yeah, latchkey kids are from the age of 11, which means they're allowed their own front door key and to let themselves into the house, but not overnight.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. 11. Cool. So, yeah, so kids can come home from school by themselves in year 5. So, in year 5, would I leave... Obviously, I've got a son. Would I leave him in the house? Maybe if I was at work, it depends on the situation, and obviously the circumstances. If I'm at work, there are days like I'm working until 8. So if I'm at work, cool, I'd leave him here because he's been to school, he's finished school, he's come home. If he's legally allowed to walk home by himself, in my eyes, I then don't understand why he can't be at home by himself. But leaving him overnight, that's a whole different type of kettle of fish. Leaving him overnight, it would probably be, obviously, again, depends on the situation, the circumstance. I like to think I wouldn't do it until he's about 16. But, you know, at the moment he's 5. So he's got like a load of years yet and stuff like that. But I would, I'd like to think I wouldn't do it until he's about 16. But like now, I'm trying to think if I ever left him at home. I don't think so. Like if I put the bins out, because my bin, I live in a block, but my bins are downstairs. So, you know, I leave him in the house to put the bins out, but I literally go down one flight of stairs, my bins are there, and I come back. But even before I go, I'm like, don't touch nothing, sit on the couch, don't have a look out the window, don't answer the door. He's like, who am I answering the door to? I'm like, I don't know, but just don't answer the door. And there's times like I test him as well. So I tell him I have keys. If anyone presses the buzzer or they like knock on the door, do not answer it. I'll go put the bins out and press buzzer. And I think the first time I did it, he answered and was like, "Hello, mum." I was like, "What are you doing?" But after that, like he's never done it. But I guess as well, also it goes down to, like, I remember being in primary school. Obviously, these were like years ago, but being in primary school, my mum would go out. Thing is, I wouldn't actually like know that my mum was out, because she'll put me to bed, I'll be asleep, she'd go out, but when I wake up in the morning, like she's home again. So do you know what I mean? And there was like me and my two sisters, but like we was asleep, but we were kids that literally, even now, once I'm asleep, I'm not getting up for no one, no storm, no gunshot, like I'm asleep. Do you know what I mean? So I think it just depends on the parents, the kids, and how, if they're immature or whatever. But definitely a baby, that's a write-off, 100%. 100%.
Definitely a lot in there. And you mentioned gunshot. I'm trying to think, wherever you live in that you'd be sleeping through gunshots. Faith God says age time frame, a lot to do with it. Kaiser Sozi says, Salam alaikum, my brothers and sisters. Hope you're all well. We hope you are well too. Before I go over to Mr. Truuu Talk, I've got actually, before I go over to your views on this, Ash and Chids, I'm going to ask you a quick question to you all, right? I'm going to throw it out there, because Milan made a good point in there. So I know we're saying about ages in terms of, year 5, you're allowed to come on by yourself, and maybe 16 and 18 and stuff. But as kids, were we not left alone at home when we were younger, in primary school and stuff? Just to sort of have food for thought there. Ash, tell me, what's your views on this one?
Just to address what you just said, yeah. I remember one time my mum left me at home by myself, yeah, and she told me the same thing: don't answer the door, don't look out the window, nothing, yeah. And you always gonna tell your kids that, and you know that they're not gonna listen, innit? Like, so obviously when the door knocked, innit, I looked out the window. You get me? And I saw it was my auntie. You get me? And then in my mind, that's my auntie. Like, I know who that is. You get me? Like, that's my auntie, and it's one of my nice aunties. You get me? One of my aunties that's bare sweet, like the Christian one. You know the ones there? Like there's no reason not to bust the door. You feel me? Like, yeah. So by natural instinct, just bust the door. It's my auntie. You feel me? But obviously, every time my mum come back now, you get me? She's mad, because she's mad. I'm thinking, bro, like, it's my auntie. Why should I not bust the door? But she's saying, bro, I don't want no one to know that I left you at home by yourself. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't want your aunties to come in the yard and you talking about I left you at home by yourself. Like, you're no one was meant to be at the yard. Like, do you get what I'm saying? So that taught me a valuable lesson as an adult. Like, no matter what you tell your kids, fam, they're not going to do what you tell them to do when you're not around, fam. So if you trust them in your yard and you care about your stuff, like, if you care about your stuff, you can't trust them in your yard, innit? You get me? Like, because they're not going to do what you told them to do, innit? If I was at my yard, left alone, I was with my brothers, my cousins and shit, something's going to break, bro. We're going to go in, we're going to find a way to go into someone's room and take something we're not supposed to. We're going to go and look at something that we know is hidden somewhere that we're not supposed to look at. Like, that's the time to do it, innit? Like, so for me, just on what you were saying, I'm not prepared to leave my youth at home alone at no time. You get me? As long as you're a child and I'm seeing you as a child, I'm not leaving you at home alone. You get me? That's just me, because I know that everything that man wasn't supposed to do, man did when man's parents weren't around, or when my mum wasn't there. So of course that's the same thing that they're gonna do. You know what I mean? But in the context of the story, I think that's very sad. You get me? Condolences, obviously, to the family and stuff. It's a deep situation. Obviously, man, don't really know the situation, so I can't really talk on that. But what I would say is that I wouldn't be prepared to even leave my baby in a room for more than 2 hours alone. Do you know what I mean? Like, when my daughter was born, up until she's going to bed by herself, you know what I mean? Like, I used to go in the room at least every 3 hours and just look at her. You get me? Just make sure she's good. You get me? Look at her breathing, and you get me? So for you to be able to cut out and leave your youth for days and days, that's mad. I wouldn't even want to leave my youth for days and days with a stranger or with my mom, or, you get what I'm saying? Like, if it's with her mum, cool, man, can leave her for days and days, but I wouldn't even leave my youth for 6 days, like baby, 6 days with my mum without going to see what I want. Do you get what I'm saying? So for me, that's outrageous that you would be able to leave your child without checking up on them for 6 days. You get what I mean? So I think that alone doesn't even really need discussing, because we know that's crazy. You get what I mean? That's like it's not a normal situation. It's outrageous. You get what I mean? So in terms of age, it goes back to what I was saying before. I don't think there's any age that you can be. It depends what kind of parent you are. If you don't want if you're one of them people that don't want you to see certain things or be involved in certain things, and you want to keep tabs on them, and then obviously you can't leave them alone. But if you know that they're gonna do some stuff that you don't agree with, you get it. Then obviously, if you feel like they're at a stage where you allow them to kind of like make their own mistakes, and you get me, then you can leave them alone. But if you don't want your youth to make their own mistakes and do certain things, and they're not at that age where you want them to start experiencing by themselves, then don't leave them by themselves. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think.
Simple things right there, and it's simple things. I like that story. It did make me laugh. 33 God said it was a lot different when we was young. Social media. I'm not sure how social media plays a part, but do explain what you mean.
No, I get that. It means that their influences, they have a lot of different influences. So the things that they're going to be thinking of doing when you're not there is different now. Do you get what I'm saying? We only had a limited amount of shit to think of doing when man's parents were around. Like, okay, man can go steal a weed and go smoke that somewhere. You get what I'm saying? Like, or smoke a cigarette or do something that you know that's bad, like that you can't do in front of your parents. But now with social media, there's so many things that they can think of doing. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough.
That's where I'm coming from.
Brianna's 80s baby says that's true. Fair enough. Unthinkable. 33 God said we was doing silly stuff. It's funny you said, before I go to Chids, right? I'm gonna tell you guys, it's funny that you said that, because when I must have been about 5 or 6, right? And I don't know why I was left alone by myself in the house. But I remember it was the morning time, and there was no one in the house. And I went to my mum and dad's bedroom, right? And I lit a match. I lit the tissue, right? I lit the tissue. And the tissue fell on the carpet, and it burnt the carpet. And I tried to out of the carpet, and then I remember going to the kitchen and eating my breakfast. And I remember my mum came in, and like as a kid, you're trying to stop your mum going to the bedroom. So she walks into the bedroom, and they see nothing straight away. And then she went right back into the bedroom again for something else. So she saw the burnt carpet. I don't remember what happened after that, right? But I just remember that I didn't do it again. Yeah, I don't know what she hit me with. I really don't remember. I'm trying not to remember that. But I didn't do it again. Put it like that. But to be fair, I shouldn't be left alone in the first place. But I agree with what you're saying. Chids, what's your views on this? What are you saying to us? Talk to us, our very first lady of Truuu podcast. Namaste.
Wow, what an introduction. In regards to the story about the girl leaving the baby, that should have never have happened, never. And it's heartbreaking. I don't know the full background story. I don't know what was going on. I did a little bit of research on it, but it's like, I can't judge. But what I can say is it should have never happened. That baby shouldn't have been left. In regards to like what age you leave your child, so my daughter, she's 12. She's what you call a latchkey child. She lets herself in after school. My girl cooks herself a 3-course meal. She does the most. But she is very mature, very much keeps herself to herself, likes her own space. So she'll just come home, have her tea, go to her room, chill until I get back. I'm lucky enough my mum lives around the corner. So she only has to do that like 1 day a week. And the other days, my mum's around the corner, but she still comes home and lets herself in. But she can phone her nan if anything's wrong. Do you get me? So I'm lucky in that aspect. I've got no qualms about leaving her. I've got an app that tells me where she is at all times. I can hear her surroundings. If her phone's on silent and I'm ringing her, she's not answering, I can send a loud signal to her phone. Do you get me? So I've got those things in place. So it's just about trusting your child and having a certain relationship with your child and knowing your child's maturity levels. Obviously, we worry. You've always got that worry in the back of your mind, but you know, I trust her enough, and we're always in contact. When I was younger, I was 9, looking after my baby brother. When my mum went to work, I didn't really do any mad things. I think one time might have like smoked a cigarette with the girl across the road out the back garden. We got grassed up, got licked. That was that really. But I was really, really mature, and it was a situation at the time, and things were a lot different then. We weren't exposed to the things these children are exposed to now. I do remember one time my mum leaving me when I must have been about 5, and she said to me, it was snowing. I never forget, it was snowing, and she had to go shopping, and she didn't want to drag me out. And she said, "Kid, don't answer the door. It doesn't matter who knocks the door." And I just remember those words, they just resonated with me hard. And my grandmother knocked the door, and I didn't let her in. I made her stay on the doorstep until my mum came back. And my mum was like, "But you could have let your grandmother in." I said, "No, but you said don't let nobody in." So I was just that child, and I never turned unruly until I was about 16. So you
was a smart one. You was a smart one, mate.
Yeah, I was a good kid like that. You get me? My mum could trust me because I understood that, you know, you don't let nobody in, and this is our house. And if we always knew when people were coming, you get me? So it wasn't a thing where even if people did spontaneously turn up, they weren't coming in. I didn't even look out the window. The only reason why I looked out the window that day is because I saw my grandmother come. I saw her through the blind. So I looked, but I talked to her through the window, but I still didn't let her in. I made her stand outside in the snow. Do you get me? And she cussed and everything. And she was like, "Chidi, just let me in." And I said, "No." My mum said, "Don't open the door to nobody. It doesn't matter who it is." So I suppose it's just about your child, if you trust your child enough. But I just think you shouldn't really leave little children at home on their own. If you feel your child's irresponsible, you shouldn't leave them at home on their own. And definitely not an overnight thing. That can't run. Because it's not even about your child then. It's about other things, you know what I mean? So many things can happen. So yeah, it's just about you and your parenting and your child level of maturity, really.
Definitely agree. Shid, you know what, right? When you said those words, "don't let nobody in," do you know what? It took me back to being like 5 again. And mum saying the same thing. "Don't answer the door to nobody." Those words right there, you know. Don't answer the door to nobody. And you'd ask those questions. What about if Auntie Jackie comes? No. What about if Hannah comes? No. Don't answer the door to nobody. The reason I just quickly, exactly. 33 God said, "That's like the worst thing in our time, burning the house down. My cousin's literally done that." Oh, mate. Please tell us more. He says, "But now, depending on age, it's crazy." Beyond the 80s baby says, "Yeah, that's why it's important we understand our children to guide our decisions." Good point. And 33 God says, "All the way, G. No one coming in, nanny." Brianna's 80 baby says, "I was too scared of my mum to risk anything. I behaved." Trust me, again, those words, you know, as soon as you said it, Chili, as soon as you said those words, I was like, oh shit. I remember that. Don't open the door to no one.
Nobody.
Do you know what though, Stick? I did the same thing you did. I don't know if I was 5, but I burnt the carpet, being fast, playing with the matches, burning tissue. But do you know where the burn was? It was like in the middle of the floor. I'm thinking, fuck. Am I going to drag the sofa? I'm thinking I need to pull a sofa over it. So I just table over it. You know what I mean? And then I was just like, when my mum came in, I remember standing on the burn patch and trying to cover it with my feet. And then she's talking to me. I remember standing there rocking. And I'm thinking, do you know what? I might as well just take the licks because I'll never hide this. Never. Do you know what I mean?
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. That day because I remember she went into the bedroom the first time and she didn't see it, and I was panicking. And then she went back in the bedroom again for something else. And when she came, I remember hearing her make some noise in the bedrooms. I knew she saw it, and I just know. I don't remember how she fucked me up. I just know she did fuck me up, innit? I just know that it was some form of being fucked up. Because again, in those days, you could fuck your kids up, yeah, and it'd be okay.
Yeah, no repercussions.
Exactly.
That's why it was okay to leave your kids at home. Like, yeah,
That's what I'm
listen,
saying.
leave you at home. Do what I told you to do. Yeah, if you don't, you know I'm gonna fuck you up when I get back.
Exactly. And you know what?
Now you can't even say that to your youths. If you even threaten them like that, fam, and they catch you, you're pissed. You know
my dad used to say to me. My dad used to say to me.
That shit. You get me? You making big threats.
You know what I'm saying?
If you open the door to your auntie, I'm gonna mash you up. Yeah, she already sent a snap to your auntie, but she sent that snap straight to auntie when you said that shit. It's a different time now.
You know what I'm saying, my dad used to say to me, because all back then you used to have Childline, innit? My dad used to say to me, yeah, if you want, call Childline, it's fine.
My mum used to say the same thing, fam.
I'll bust you out in front of them.
It was on the cereal box. Mum be like, Mum, there's the number.
Yeah.
There's the number.
It's like, I'll bust your ass in front of them.
I need a holiday from you anyway. That hurt.
My mum used to say, I'll call Childline for you. You are. Tell her.
Read somebody's message. 33 God said, no, hang on. Brianna's 80s baby says, I wouldn't be here if I burnt my mum's carpet. Mate, trust me. 33 God said, my cousin found matches set in the broom alight, got shook and put it under the bed. Oh, mate, that sounds crazy. Rosie Post says, Childline. Yeah, man, Childline. I'm telling you, back in the day, Childline. He was like, I'll bust your ass if they come here as well.
That makes social services kind of taken.
Oh, wait, then you are, phone them. You are, free number and all, phone them.
Mate. But yeah, I think you guys are right. It was a different time, I suppose, isn't it? I mean, again, we can all call being at home as kids. You know, we all say, 13, 16, 18, and whatever age, but we can all remember being at home as young kids before, even primary school or early secondary school days. You know what I mean? But obviously, we can all agree that a baby,
Yeah, it's too much, man. You know what's funny, yeah? Did you guys ever do... Huh? I know, Millie, you probably did this, yeah, because you're from the ends, yeah. And I know you're not really close to my age, but you're kind of close to my age, yeah. Did you ever do the citizenship thing? Where you went, at school.
Yeah.
And you had to go to this place and they test you in all this different scenarios and shit. Did you ever do that?
Oh, days.
That was dope, innit? Did you do it? So basically, yeah, there's this thing, yeah, they take you to this place, yeah. I think it's like a center. I think my brethren 3-3 actually went to the center, funny enough, yeah. But they take you to this place and they put you in all of these different scenarios, yeah, and they see how you would react and they score your group based on how you react, innit? Yeah. The bare different things is like the ball falls into the train tracks. What you're gonna do? You're gonna jump in. You're gonna use the stick, or you're gonna tell the people. If a man asks you to help him with boxes, help him put him in his car, you're gonna help him, or you're gonna run off, or you're gonna call the whatever. You know what I'm saying? But there was one that stuck out to me. Was about being in a house alone. You feel me? And it was like, if you're in a house alone now, and then someone comes and knocks on the door, you look and you see you don't recognize the person. What are you gonna do, innit? Yeah, and basically me, I was just like, shut up, innit? I was just telling the people like, someone, obviously my mum told me this 100 times, you get if I was in this predicament, you get me? I got a chance to do the right thing. If I was at home, maybe I would have fucked up, but man's here, innit? So I'm like, like, let's not talk. Don't answer the door. Don't talk to the person. Don't do nothing, innit? That's what we're going to do. Just going to be quiet, do you get me? Until they leave. You get me? But when you got a group of people, you don't get to control what the group decides, innit? So the group, anyway, we're doing in the scenario, the person's ended up like talking to the person at the door, you get me? And been like, they're like, where's your mum? Like, get your mum. And then obviously the person like, my mum's not here. You get me? Like, so now the person's trying to break down the door and do all of that shit. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, even in them scenarios where it's fixed, like, and it's like built for you to make the right decision. As a young person, you're always they're never gonna make that right decision in the moment. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, so you're never gonna know. You get me? But that scenario-based thing that stuck out to me, because even though I knew that I shouldn't say nothing, when we was in the scenario, like people were still talking to the person at the door and saying, "Yeah, my mum ain't in," and all of that. So when it comes to age, I don't think that the age necessarily matters, man. Because anything can happen. People break into yards and shit. I don't think people get it. Like, you leave you at home alone, your daughter 13, whatever. People break into yards. But I don't know about, obviously I'm from an area where these things are normal, innit? So maybe I'm just a bit more paranoid about those kind of things, innit? But I know that people break into yards, fam. Someone breaks into your yard and sees you in the yard. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, it's just too risky, innit? Like, I don't really care what age. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather make sure that someone's there just in case, bro. Not even just to watch what they're doing, but just to protect them. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. Read some messages out quickly. 33 God says, my mum would help you pack. Rosie Posey says, my mum never played that shit. Brianna's A's baby says, a very different time. 33 God said, what happened to runouts? You guys remember that game, runouts?
Remember runouts? Oh my God.
Runouts. Would you even let your child out to play?
Man. You can't even run about runouts.
I'm saying, 33 God says, always smart one word. Brianna's 80s baby says, understandable. And 33 God said, too risky. Speaking of runouts, right? I remember, as being a kid, my mum used to say to me, make sure you're home at 8 o'clock. This time, I don't have a watch, you know. I don't have a watch. And obviously, there's no mobile phones, right? But he said, make sure you're home at 8 o'clock. Yeah, it's street lights. And I remember that one time, you know, that my mum has come look for me. Remember I said one time? Yeah.
That was the last time.
It was the first and last time. And I was only across the road. I wasn't even far. I was across the road. I remember I come to look for me and I saw her and I was like, oh, it's my mum. And I ran up to her, hey, mum, you're right. And I knew what time it was, boy. Good old days, but I knew what time. That never happened again. Never happened again.
My mum used to come look for me all the time, bro. And the worst thing is for me, I used to chill right next to my yard. There was a big field next to my yard there where all of us used to chill. And my mum would literally come to the gate of the field and scream out my name from in front of everyone, bro. You know, like I'm there trying to act like I can't hear her and shit. Running my like, Ash, look, your mum. Your mum's fooling you, bro. Trust me, it's peak. I
was a goody two-shoes, wasn't I, Dom? I always used to go, I'm going now, I'm going home until I turned 16. And shit, I went and I never come back.
No, you was a good girl.
I was.
Before 16.
Yeah, I was. I was so good.
No, before 15.
No, my 16th birthday, 3 days before my 16th birthday.
Yeah. I think we were just all a bit too scared to do it. Like, it was a different situation, like, in Wales, because obviously, like, most black people come from the same area. And if they don't live in the area still, they don't live far from the area. Do you get me? Yeah. So it's like, you can't do nothing wrong because your mum will find out. You see what I'm saying?
Knowing about it before you done it.
Yeah.
So it was just a madness.
If you went somewhere you weren't supposed to go, yeah, and you got away with it, you got back on time, you get in the house, you're like, yes, sweet, I got away with it. And then your mum comes and just greets you with a lick. Boom. That means somebody caught you. So between you being out by the time you got home, the message already got back to your mum. Do you see what I'm saying? And your mum don't even ask you, it's just bam. Boop, straight licks in your head.
So then we found train. Remember? It was Bristol first.
Oh.
No, it was Newport, then
Bristol. We found 60 to Bristol. Where you been? To the park.
We've been Bristol for the day, and then it was London, and it was game over.
I wasn't brave enough to go London because my dad was there. I just had visions of my dad dragging me back by my fucking ponytail back to Cardiff. So I was like, London's a no-go. Bristol,
no.
Just went Birmingham instead. Dominic went Birmingham.
Yeah, I love Birmingham. I'm going the opposite direction to my parents, see.
Some voice messages. 33 God says, imagine how you would feel if you couldn't find your youth. Scary stuff. The things we put our parents through and didn't really understand. That's a very good point, actually, I must say. But then again, it was a lot safer than I believe. Well, I'm not sure. Well, I don't know. It was weird. Different times.
We might have felt like it was safer, but our parents was thinking, "Oh my God!" And
And it was a no fear thing for me. Like when I think about the places I've walked and the things that I've done, I wouldn't do that shit now. But
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because you knew your area, you knew your neighbours, so there was no fear. Do you know what I mean? And not just that, you was never really like on your own. You were with your friends, and people knew you and your friends, so it was never that like fear factor. I think. You know what I mean? If there was a dodgy geezer, we all knew who the dodgy geezer was. Do you see what I'm saying? The dodgy geezer knew not to even like
We used
approach
to fuck them up anyway, so it was mad.
Yeah.
All right. So, guys, on that, our final 20 minutes to go to our second topic. The second topic is it important for your partner to make you feel attractive? I'll say it again. Guys in the live, is it important for your partner to make you feel attractive? Now, I'm going to go back in reverse. I think we started off with Loudmouth Dom on the last one. So I'm going to go with Chitty, Bang, Bang. Is it important for your partner to make you feel attractive?
Chitty, bang, bang, you know.
Who's going first, me or Chiz, or both of us?
No, chitty, bang, bang, he said.
You say Chiz, Steph?
No, he said chitty,
Dom,
bang,
listen,
bang.
you know. Dom, listen, you know. Dom, you started last time, so you're not going to start this time.
You started last time, so you might as well start this time.
That's what you want to hear.
He doesn't understand. She's like, not? What is that word? Did you say yes?
Like,
okay, cool. I'm going to start. Shoot your partner.
Should your partner.
My bad.
Is it important for your partner to what? What was it? I chose the topic as well. I can't even remember. What was it? Is it important for your partner to
make you feel attractive?
Make you feel attractive.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think it's important for your partner to make you feel attractive. Obviously, we all get moments where we might not feel attractive. And when we do get those moments, yes, your partner should uplift you and say, you know, and give you that little boost and whatever. I think it's more important to feel attractive within ourselves and to feel confident within ourselves and to feel comfortable. We should never look for validation from anyone else, whether it be our partner, friends, whoever, because it all starts with self. But I think if you're in a committed relationship or you're with someone and, you know, obviously part of that is based on attraction, yeah, they should uplift you, give you a little comment and let you know that they're definitely still feeling you or whatever and that. But I just don't think you should rely on your partner for those things because, you know, I don't know, it's a confusing one. The person that I had a conversation about, the reason why this topic came up was because somebody said to me, can you talk about this? Because they're at a point where they just feel like their partner doesn't uplift them or their partner doesn't make them feel attractive or tell them they're beautiful. But at the beginning of the relationship, they did that a lot and now it's stopped. So I think this is where we've got to be careful and we have to be consistent throughout relationships. Together, you've got to show consistency. So you can't gas someone up at the beginning and constantly tell them, oh, you're beautiful, you're this and the other, and then all of a sudden stop. That's mad. That's bound to bring up or trigger insecurities in the person. Do you get me? But I just think it starts with self. That's my take on it.
You know, Chiz, I definitely have to agree with you there. I agree with you 100%. Maybe send messages. This one is from Brianna Zetti Baby, said that's true. Also says 100%, but self-love comes first. After you, your partner should be your biggest fan. 33 God says, I agree. This is a True Talk. I'm Annie Introduction. What's your views on this one?
I kind of agree with what Chids is saying, yeah, because I understand that attraction and love is different. So your partner should always make you feel like you're loved, yeah, make you feel like you're appreciated and make you feel like you're valued, yeah. But I think attraction, I guess an attraction would be part of that, I guess, because I guess people hold value on how people feel about them, innit? So I guess if your partner doesn't show you that they're attracted to you, it's going to make you feel less valued. So in a way, it is their responsibility to make you feel. It's not their responsibility to make you feel attractive. It's your responsibility to feel good about yourself and to know that you're attractive without them telling you. Yeah. But at the same time, if we're talking about for the purpose of relationship and not just for the purpose of self-esteem, yeah, then yes, it's their responsibility. Because if we're talking about us maintaining our relationship or maintaining this sexual attraction or maintaining intimacy or maintaining a certain level of passion or whatever, then you're going to have to make me feel attractive in order for me to do that, or in order for that to continue. Do you get what I'm saying? So yes and no. It shouldn't be, your self-esteem shouldn't be based on if your partner thinks you're, or if your partner's making you feel attractive. But in order to maintain a certain level of passion, you need to make them feel attractive, innit? So yeah, yes and no. You get what I mean? So if it's for the relationship, if for relationship purposes, I would say yes, because it keeps the relationship exciting. It keeps the relationship flowing in that kind of way. But for self-esteem reasons, no, because it's dangerous. Because if they're not attracted to you no more, that means you're not going to feel attractive anymore. You know what I mean? So
There's some valid points there. Miss Millie Rock, Milan, what's your views on this one?
What was the question again?
Lord God.
who's Jordan again?
No, but I think, should your partner make you feel attractive?
Yes. Is it important for your partner?
Yeah. Attractive.
Is it? Okay. So I agree with what Ashley and Chids have said. Like, self-love is first. So, but excluding that, with that out of the way, in relationship purposes, I'm gonna lost it. Should your partner make you feel attractive? Yes. Like, whoever says no, I really need like your like a very detailed written essay as to why it's a no, because that doesn't make sense. But you know, if you're in a relationship with someone, like, how hard is it for them to put something on, or you know, this is why I wanted to know what the question was, because in my head I was thinking, well, obviously, like I tell my kid every day that I love him. Do you know what I mean? I give him a hug and I give him a kiss. So that's what I was thinking. Like, is that what you like meant? Because if I can tell like him that every day, like as soon as he gets up or he walks past me, I'm like, I love you. I give him a cuddle. Then why can't I do that to my partner or husband or girlfriend or whatever? Do you know what I mean? Like, why can't you do that? It's not that hard. Or if you're on a call and at the end of the call, it's just, I love you too, bye. Like, whether it's quickly said, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's the small things that you don't realize in a relationship. Once you take those away, you're just like, oh, hold on. Haven't heard you say that you love me in a while, or you know, I haven't like walked past and you've slapped my ass as I go to the bathroom. Or, you know what I mean? Like, those little. Why are you looking at me like that? Sorry, Sticky's eyes was like, what? Slap their ass? Don't do that. But do you know what I mean? Just like at the end of the day, that's your partner, and you wouldn't be with them if you didn't love them or find them sexually attractive. Do you know what I mean? So obviously you don't need to be like a creep about it, and you know, every time she walks in or he walks in, try to grab his piece, or you're trying to pull her trousers down. Like, it's not about that, but it's just about showing that this person still like means the world to you. Do you know what I mean? And then I don't mean that on like hierarchy settings where, you know, you got the king and the. I don't mean that, but do you know what I mean? Like, your relationship is you, this other person, creating your own like world, inner world, and doing things together. So if you're sitting over there, why am I not just gonna, you know, like, oh, might just give you a little text, like you could got a trim or something, come back, like, oh, are you trying to look sexy? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things. And I think as well, people over the years, if you've been in a relationship for a long time, not that people forget to tell you, but people like to just assume, like, well, obviously I still love her because I'm still fucking here. Do you know what I mean? Like, or obviously I love him because I haven't DM'd back that person who messaged me on Instagram. Do you know what I mean? But you know that in your head, but people are not like telepathic. They don't know what you're thinking. Sometimes you just have to say it or show it with flowers or making him a candle bath and then joining him. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I love where you took it, Mills, because everything you just said, that's what the person's saying. And literally down to everything you said, even when you mentioned like saying about your child, or say to your child, like, you know, I love you, or if your child looks like I'll say to myself, oh, you look beautiful today, you look really nice. You get me? This is exactly what the person was saying. So yeah, I'm glad you took it there. That was wicked.
They love it.
It's true though. Do you know what I mean? I tell my kid every day, and we have this thing about if the moon's out, it's the first one who spots the moon, and there's like, I love you to the moon and back. It's the first one who says it. And the other day, I don't know whether it was the time of the year or whether it was really cloudy, but like where my house was, we did not see the moon for like 4 days. We was vexed. We're running from window to window trying to find the moon to tell each other, but the moon just weren't out. Like, I don't know where it was. And then like about 3 days ago, it finally popped back out. I've never seen this kid jump so high. It's like, oh my God, that moon!
Little thing.
But you know what I mean? Like, if I can do that with my kid, obviously, like not as a moon, but you know, why can't I just tell my partner, love you, you know, slap his ass. He gets a trim and I'm like, oh, who are you looking hot for? Must not be me. Do you know what I mean? Like, have some banter. Life's too hard to just be prudy. Do you know what I mean?
All the time, man.
Definitely love that. And as Chidi said, it's the little things in it. I'm sure when he's our age on a podcast like this, he'll say, do you know what? When I was a kid, when I was 5, my mum and I used to do Love You to the Moon and Back. Do you know what I mean? Brianna's Ace Baby says, that's true. Love Heart and Faithfully God said, LOL. Loudmouth Dom over there. Tell us, talk to us. Is it important for your partner to make you feel attractive? With your headscarf on right now.
Don't be hating, right? Trying to cover the track. To be honest with you, I'm just gonna tell everybody straight, like, you know, it is true talk. Because at the end of it, if you don't make your girl feel special, somebody else is gonna make her feel. It's gonna make, sorry, kids jumping in. I'm gonna knock her out. Somebody else is gonna make her feel special. 1 minute.
See, this is why you gotta love live stuff, innit? When you do stuff live, this is what happens, innit? The kids come in.
It all just comes and just, ha! And the thing made me lose all focus and shit. If this was me back in my day, I'd go slapping my ass. But no, I just got to scream on mute. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Right, yeah. So at the end of the day, if I'm dressing up for my man, trying to look nice, and going back to what Milan said earlier, consistency, yeah, and he's not noticing, guaranteed another man is going to notice. Do you see what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to catch my man's attention, and then I end up catching another man's attention, and then things get a bit complicated and difficult. Because this man's going to start showing me attention more and more, bit of a flirt. Do you see what I'm saying? Then the odd phone call, then the odd text, and then God knows where it could go. However, if you're in a relationship and you're in a relationship for a long period of time, yeah, and there's kids and work and life and this and that, I mean, you know, it's hard to kind of get those things in. Do you see what I'm saying? Because life just gets in the way. You know, sometimes like you can't even have sex because it's just like, oh, you know, sleepover sex, one of those type of situations. However, it's like if I'm getting dressed up to go to a work do, or if I've got a new scarf, it is nice, yes, for him to say, oh, you've got a new scarf. Do you see what I'm saying? If he's just completely oblivious to any changes going on in my life, then I'm going to be like, hang on a minute. Do you know what I mean? So I think consistency is key. Although it might deteriorate slightly, you know, it's observation, isn't it? You could kind of tell by body language if they notice or not. You could have a whole new outfit on when you left the house compared to when you come back in. And if they really don't notice, then it's like, hang on a minute. They're gonna have
Oh,
to
can
sit
I
in
just
and
cut
have a
in there? You're
conversation.
setting your man up to fail. Man don't notice if you cut your hair. You can have long hair down to your bum and then you cut it into a bob and they don't notice. You want him to notice your scarf. Girl, I said just slap the guy's ass when he walks past. She said, notice my scarf. If you do not notice my scarf and somebody else does,
Listen,
that's problem.
I'm telling you, when you've been in a relationship for a long time, it's like, even if like I've got, obviously it depends on the man, probably more than likely, because obviously you go halves on the bills and shit. They notice when you buy new shit, they're thinking, hang on a minute, where did she get that extra 20 pounds off the last guy? Do you know what I mean? Is that what to buy for the new carpet? Do you know, one of them ones? Probably why they notice. But most men do know, if they're invested in their woman, I believe they do notice these things, you know, whether it be big or small. And even if they don't notice the detail, the fact that they'll say, oh, something different about you, babe, or oh, you're glowing. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, it's an observation. They're taking their time out to realize that their woman's like glowing differently.
No. That one there is their safety net. Because as women, and I'm only going to put this on us right now, if we've done something different and you haven't noticed, if I say I change, I'm going to keep swinging my hair to make you, hello, babe, do you know what I mean? To make you notice that. And then you're going to be like, oh, she keeps doing it. Something's different. You're glowing. That's their safety. So then we're like, oh, you noticed. They didn't notice fuck all, but you're just acting like a weirdo. So now they're like, shit, something's up. It's either the anniversary, I haven't put the bins out, or she's changed something, but I don't know what the fuck it is. So I'm just gonna go with it. Yeah, you're glowing, babe. Yeah, sweet. And then we go, oh, okay then, and we walk off all happy. No, he ain't got a fucking glow.
I don't know. That's not really like, I can't say personally that's my situation. My situation, my husband's more likely to check the fucking bank statements and be like, oh yeah, there she goes again. This much on hair, and this much on her eyebrows. Do you know what I mean? And then if for 1 month, say for example, I haven't done those, he'd be like, what's wrong? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, don't you feel well? Like, oh, you're letting your eyebrows grow a bit funny. You know, I think it just depends on the man. Like, you know, it does depend on the man. However, I like the fact that he takes the time to notice the change, regardless of what the change is.
I think some men just don't notice. And sometimes, obviously, if a woman may be feeling insecure about something within herself, if she mentions it, more time men will be like, I don't even know what you're on about. I don't see what the differences. I don't see what the changes. I don't see what's wrong. There's nothing wrong. Like, you're just creating that in your mind. So I think sometimes it's just hang-ups on a woman, and then she'll do the most for the man to notice. But he didn't have a problem.
But as well as that same man who probably notices the good will also notice and comment on the bads. Do you get me? So if you're having a rough day, that man will be like, oh, babe, what happened to you? Do you know what I mean? Like, your hair looks toe up, like, comb your hair. Do you see what I'm saying? Whereas the day you look nice, you're like, oh, babe, you look like Mary Campbell today. So you have to take the rough with the smooth with the guy who's observant.
Give me jokes there. Becky Louise Thompson says, it doesn't even have to be words, though, or commenting on the outfit. It can just be a look they give you, an ass grab or something, with a hands up emoji. Ladies, would you agree? I know Milan does.
100%.
Yeah. It could be that seduction look, like take you to bed look, like.
Makes you feel away, but it makes you feel away. You're like, oh shit, then, okay. But yeah.
More like, hang on a minute, we've got about 4 minutes till the kids come back.
Speaking of 4 minutes, we've actually only got 4 minutes left, 3 minutes left actually, before we wrap this one up. So before we cut off, make sure we say thank you to everyone on the Insta Live. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the Truuu Talk podcast. What is it? What's the handle, Chids? What is it?
What the handle for one now? Why are you putting me on the spot? What is it? What, the place where we talk and we're talking through? Truuu underscore. No, what is it? Truuu underscore.
Oh, Jesus.
Podcast. Also, I just quickly wanted to mention the giveaway. The giveaway is still out there. So if you can just go to the page, like the post, follow the instructions, do your thing, and I will announce or Ashley will announce who's going to be the winner in the next week.
Yeah.
You got to tell them the prize though. What's the prize?
I'm not telling them the prize this time. It's a good giveaway. That's all.
Nice though. It's nice though. But nah, like, it's nice. Then it's nice.
We give away
Decent.
really good giveaways. So this one's nice. I actually want it for myself.
Sticky,
So
you can't enter. I see
like,
that look in your face, bro. You can't.
if you don't like, share, and subscribe, and do what you're supposed to do, I'm keeping it for myself. I'm keeping it for myself because I just.
We can't give sticky away. It's not fair. Stop.
No, yeah, no one deserves that. No one deserves that. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean? He's ready to go out into the world now. He's got his flat twist, guys.
Hey.
That's why he's got to do it in a week or so, just so he can get them just retightened. You know what I'm saying? So in a week or so, ladies, DJ Sticky Fingers is up for grabs. Obviously, guys do it too because you might have a friend that's lonely, need someone.
Yeah, we're wrapping it up. DJ Sticky Fingers.
I'm saying we're in tier 2 right now.
You guys,
that you need to bubble up quickly.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Yeah,
it's a good point. 2 tickets at a time. Tickets for 25p each. They can get 2 tickets to win DJ Sticky Fingers for 50p. 25p each.
Jesus Christ.
The bidding starts now.
Sticky's back.
Sticky's very tall, by the way. He looks short on his horizontal screen because he's trying to do landscape. You get me? But he's hella tall. Trust me. He's taller than me.
Guys, we got 1 minute.
We got
1 minute left. Guys, thank you for tuning in, man. We appreciate you, man.
Thanks,
guys.
So don't forget, we are back next week, Wednesday, from 10 to 11 with another 2 topics, banter, fun, taking the mick out of DJ Sticky Fingers. And we also got Loudmouth Dom anyway, so, I mean, what more do we
need? We're going to have
need?
this lighting every week now.
I know.
Yeah, like it, yeah.
Crazy. You see that? This how I'm taking the picture today.
What happened?
Crazy. So this lighting's buff though, isn't it?
Buff.
I could have changed the colour of that. I'm not going to do that now.
I'm going to do
it. It will ruin the illusion. Do you know what I mean?
Ashley got a ring light. I'm telling you, we got one of them ring lights.
It's
too perfect.
Only ring lights make you look this buff. I'm telling you. She's not lying. She knows. She sees the vision.
You couldn't even pay for that kind of lightning. Do you know what I mean?
On, man. I told that shit, dumb. Talk that shit.
I was like, Ashley got a makeover.
No, don't do that. I was buff from last week. Don't do that.
He was buff. Don't do that.
Anyway, guys, let's go. Everyone on Insta Live. We'll see you next week, 10 o'clock. All right. See you all later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.